Good evening, everyone. It's the Fury Lovery, and today I'm going to bring you a video on the Harbor Freight coupons, and I'm just going to present this as a female's guide or a mom's guide or a wife's guide to getting what's needed for the household out of Harbor Freight, or things that can be useful in a stockpile or in cases of emergency, things of that nature. So let's take a look at the ad. While I'm going through the ad, I'm going to show you some examples of how I've used some of these items around my home here, and different ideas and things that I've done with some of the items. Now, I will say this, I do not like to spend a ton of money. So most of the items that I will get on a haul at Harbor Freight would amount to around $20, $30 at the most in the total amount for the bill. And so I may go to Harbor Freight twice a month. The first thing that's catching my eye on this particular page is these gloves. I do use these gloves to wash meat with, and I also use these gloves to clean with. So I like to pick these up and stock up on them when I see the coupon. You can see the regular price is $7.99. I like the idea of getting them for $5.99, and I like the fact that there's 100 gloves in each box, so I will be picking up some of those. So I just go through the ad and put like a little star to remind myself to cut that coupon out. This is another good thing to have in the home. All your tools in one contained area. I think that's a great idea. In case of emergency, you can just grab the whole toolbox. Now, $29.99 is not something that I'm looking to pay right at this moment, but in the future, it's definitely something that I wouldn't mind purchasing in the future. This tarp here is another great item to get in case of emergency. I know here on the coast we have a lot of storms and hurricane season and everything like that, so it's good to have these on hand in case of emergency, in case your roof falls in and you need to cover some furniture, anything like that. Storm related, I think these tarps would be a good purchase. Moving on, I do see some batteries here at a reasonable price. That's pretty much half price there on those batteries. You get 18 packs. Now, this isn't a name brand, but like I said, in case of emergency, if you go without power for a few days, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't mind using batteries that are non-name brand or generic batteries. They would come in handy for emergency purposes. Or sometimes, like for Christmas, I like to stock up on these because you'll buy toys and everything for your children that require batteries. So it's always good to have a bunch of batteries on hand if you can. This is another emergency item that I like to purchase. Well, actually don't have to purchase it because it's a free item. You do have to purchase something at Harbor Freight in order to get this light for free, but I love keeping these around. You can put them in your closet, you keep them in your car. I mean, whatever you need as far as having light as an emergency. Like I said, if the power goes out, you can use these versus lighting a candle. I think these are a great item to add to your stockpile. And here's a good coupon here. If you wanted to just get a big ticket item, you can get 20% off that big ticket item. Guys, I did want to quickly show you this magnetic parts holder. It's super cheap, and I have purchased a few of these, and I'm going to show you how I've used them in my home. Let me just show you the package really quick, and this is how it's packaged, and it's 4 inches wide, and it has a little rubber stand on the back of it that makes it very easy to stand up. And let me just show you how I've used it in my home. I've actually used it to carouse my bobby pins. A lot of times these get lost and they're just all over the place sometimes, so I think this is a good way to keep them contained. And I just sit this right on my vanity, and it's been working out really good for me because the bobby pins just kind of stick to the pan, and it's really working out well for me. I'm very pleased with my 99-cent purchase. Guys, moving on here to the next page, I do pick up these microfiber cloths, and what I use these for is when I wash my fruits and vegetables, I will spray them down with the fruit and vegetable wash, and then I will dry them off with these towels, and it works out perfectly for me. And then once I dry them off, I can store them in the refrigerator, and it really helps to get the water off. I've found that using a salad spinner has not been working out for me as far as getting all of that water off, but these towels do the trick. Guys, here are some more gloves here. These are the black color, and they are a bit more sturdier than the gloves I showed you earlier. Now these are good for greasy jobs and things of that nature. If you have a more dirty job, you can use these gloves over the blue ones I showed you earlier. Here's another item that's good to have for emergencies. This is a portable lantern, and so these are good to use if your power goes out, or if you had to be outside and it was dark outside, you can use this portable light here. Now it's a bit pricey, but it's still a pretty good discount from the original price. You know, if it's something that you wanted to pick up maybe once, you could do that. And then from my understanding, it's a pretty bright light, so I think it would be well worth the purchase. The next item that I would probably pick up here is this utility knife. Those are always good to have around just in case you need to cut something or get into some kind of package, or even maybe start a little hole in some drywall. Anything related to an emergency of that sort, you could get this. Here's a machete here. If you are some type of warrior princess, you might want to get this, but I'm going to pass on the machete. But, you know, some of you all may, you know, could use that in case of an emergency. You might have to cut down some bushes to plow your way out of your house. You just never know what type of emergency you would face, but I think this would be good if you're needing it for some purpose such as that. Another good thing to have on hand, of course, would be a gas can. These are kind of pricey initially, but I mean, $4 off I think is pretty good on that. These are good, of course, for your vehicles, or if you had any type of generator or anything like that, you might want to purchase one just to have on hand. Guys, we've reached the back page of the coupon book and sales flyer from Harbor Freight, and the last item that I'm going to show you here is this moving blanket. Now these are nice enough blankets to just put on your bed for an extra blanket if you need it, but you know, if your heat would ever go out or anything like that in the winter time, I think that these are really good to have around and to have on hand. If you were to get caught in a cold storm and then, you know, your power goes off, your gas goes off, these blankets are very, very warm, and these are super cheap for what you get as far as a nice thick blanket. So I do recommend picking these up and getting maybe 2 or 3 for each family member and 1 for your dog. I appreciate you all watching my video. Thank you. Have a great night.